Assassin's Creed Shadow is one of the most by-the-numbers games I have ever played. I walked into it thinking that it was going to be a lot more than it was actually going to end up being. The writing and just the animations of the game are kind of piss poor at the moment. Especially some of the NPCs and the side characters, their voice acting is quite poor. The only one that I can feel that has some actual, good voice acting is, weirdly enough, Yasuke. His voice acting, that voice actor deserves to be in something a lot better. But overall, he's stuck with a script that isn't very good, and his character just doesn't need to be there in the context of the story. He kind of feels pushed aside. As Naoe, you take control of Naoe right at the beginning of the game, and you play with her for about 10 hours, where you've got used to her controls, and then after that 10-hour mark, you get given control over Yasuke, and he just feels like a completely different character. He can't climb, and he can't actually do anything that an assassin can do, which is such a shame, because I feel like he could be in the right game. He could have been a really fun, unique character, but being a foreigner in a different land. But because of just how badly written this is, it just doesn't feel right. One of the moments that really stood out to me was the fact that Yasuke is the reason Naoe is on this revenge trip, and there's some reason she sort of accepts, he wants to help. And there's a scene that I kind of just face palmed, in the sense of it wasn't very well written, and the voice acting for Naoe was quite bad. A lot of it is very stilted and very, hello, my name is Naoe, I'm here to kill you. It's very there isn't a smoothness to a lot of it, and a lot of the voice actors for the secondary characters isn't very good. The controls of the game are pretty alright. Don't get me wrong, there's some good elements of the game. The graphics look amazing. It's one of the best looking games out on the system at the moment. It even surpasses Monster Hunter Wilds, which at the moment is being my game of the year. Actually, in graphics, I think it actually surpasses that. It's beautiful. The landscape of Japan is gorgeous, and it runs pretty well, except when you go into hideout. For some reason, it drops drastically to 30 frames per second, and I even think it's actually lower. I don't know if that's something to do with the PlayStation, or how they have decided that you can customize your hideout, which is a cool little mechanic that I actually think is a really interesting way, being able to create your own base and allow you to have your own personal area. Customization in this game is actually really good. Apart from my dislike for the armor class system, I think the ability to mix and match armor and actually have it more visual actually works in favor. It means I can have a more historically looking, I can still have the bonuses of some of the outfits while also looking a bit more historically accurate, because I notice a lot of this is like, a lot of the armor, it can be a little bit bright for my liking, and as I'm playing as a ninja, I want more darker clothes, and being able to do that, as you can see in the thing. Some of the bad things I have discovered about this game is finally the terrible microtransactions and locking behind armor behind a battle pass and a paywall is just disgusting. If this is meant to be Ubisoft's swan song to sort of save the company, I don't think this is the right direction to go in. The game feels like it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back in a lot of elements, and I really am disappointed with the final showing, and I really wanted this game to be well and really excitable. I was excited when I heard Assassin's Creed Shadows was going to be in Japan for their next game, but after playing 20 hours of the game at the moment, I don't think this is the direction they should be going in. I really think they should really take a step back and look about what Assassin's Creed should be. Mirage was a great example and a great return to form that I really wish they followed up with Assassin's Creed Shadows. I think the level system and the RPG elements just don't fit Assassin's Creed, and the way they've done the missions, I think a more straightforward story would have done this better, and allowing us to learn more about the characters and about their backstories. Hell, I would have rather this game actually be set a couple months before, or even a couple years before the moments of this game, because I wanted to learn more about the characters. I wanted to know more about their backstory. Yes, you have the going back in time element with the meditation things where you actually go back in Naoe and Yasuke's time in Japan. But I really wish you could have just played through that at the beginning and got to know these characters, and so the impact of characters dying at the beginning of the game actually had more of an impact than they actually do. Especially the reason Naoe is actually on this revenge thing with her father. Was it father or grandfather sadly getting killed? That didn't have the emotional impact I think it should have had if we had spent more time with him throughout the game. Overall, this game is okay. I see the problems and I see where they want to go with this. And Ubisoft's next game that apparently is on the works is Assassin's Creed Hex, which is going to be a witchy, set in the German, about witches. I generally don't think that's the direction they should go in. I generally think they should take a step back and go, hey, let's see go back to maybe Italy and Ezio and actually, you know, remake those games. I think those are some of the best games out there. There are hintings and talks of a remake of the first game and I believe Black Flag, which was two of the best Assassin's Creed games in my personal opinion. But overall, I would say that I am enjoying my time with it. When you get to play as Naoe and you actually do your stealthing, I generally think it's one of the best moments of the game. Yes, there are glitches. There are many glitches, and I keep coming to parts where the characters are just bugging out, especially some of the crashes I've had. I've had a few crashes with the game, and it is immersion breaking when I'm trying to kill somebody and they keep getting back up. And some of the visual graphics is a bit annoying. And also animations can be a bit, the animation killing can be a bit annoying, especially with the assassinations. Assassinations are on an animation and I think it feels really stilted as a character proceeds to stop and you run up, kill them, and then they drop. I generally think there should have been a bit more work on the animations, making it a more fluid system, like the old Assassin's Creed. They were more they were less animation focused with this, with the killing and stuff. I also think the kits that both the characters are given are actually surprisingly fun. Yasuke is more tanky build, and his kick was making me laugh constantly as I sliced through the enemies. And Naoe's more stealthy approach to things are really interesting. And the fact that if you fuck up and you get seen as Naoe, you can't fight out of that most of the time. You need to run or be really careful in that fight. You can't be overloaded. And with Yasuke, you can just blitz through most of the things. And that is another problem. I find that Yasuke can just blitz through most enemies, which I find like no trouble in any of my encounters. I've not died once with Yasuke, but that's probably because I haven't played much of them due to the fact that I prefer the stealth route of Naoe. Overall, if I was to rate this game, I'd probably give it about a 7. It's an okay game. It's not brilliant. It's not 10 out of 10. It's definitely not Game of the Year. And overall, I think there should be I think there should be a little bit more and probably less focus on the you know, money side, especially when they're trying to charge £15 for armor sets. And I am going to talk about that probably in the future. I don't like microtransactions, but we have got some DLC in the future, and they're apparently going to be free. So maybe this game may improve in the future. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and ta-ra.